cross stitchers have YouTube? It's awesome. Hi, my name's Nicole, and I fell onto Floss Tube from the magic that is the internet rabbit hole, and I love it. So yeah, I've been watching Floss Tubes for a couple months and was just like, yeah, nope, doing it, totally, in it to win it. So welcome to my exercise bike. So a little bit about me. My name's Nicole. I'm married. I have 3 kids. I have 2 sons who are 8 and 11. I have a stepdaughter who's also 8. I have a husband. We're some kind of hot mess family. It's fantastic. I work full-time. He works full-time. The kids have better social lives than we do. So we're crazy busy, and I'm like out of my mind most days. So I was, a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, I was at work and I was just like, I can't, I'm over it, whatever. And was just digging for like a book to read or something to do, and came across a cross stitch book that I had. I have fallen in and out of cross stitch over the years for all the reasons, and fell back across this one and was like, I wonder if that would like calm me down and make me less crazy. So decided to pull the book back out, and it's kind of where we've landed. I'm now 97 freaking whips in and getting it done, and it's great. So yeah, I started with the book. We'll get there in a second. And thank you targeted Instagram ads came across the Stitch, the Stitch 7 that ended up being the Golden Girls fantasticness. So I found that and I was like, that would be a really good like long-term project. Obviously I didn't know what it was at the time. I was like, this is a good long-term project, and I need a long-term project to like distract me from everything else in the universe. So I started it. I went to the store, I got really excited, went to Joann's, got everything I needed, got started, and like immediately became obsessed. So I'm in the Facebook group, and that's when I started seeing people post about Floss Tube, and I was like, do y'all have your own like network world? Like I didn't even realize it was on YouTube at first. So kind of little by little, I actually think it was Chelsea and Priscilla's tea coffee dyeing video that I saw first. And then, YouTube recommends stuff. And I was like, yeah, let's keep watching these. I have quite a history with YouTube. Once upon a time, I had a YouTube channel, not cross stitching. I also spent quite a few years very heavily into like beauty YouTube, watching like the makeup videos and all of that. And I love it, but I kind of like get distracted and in and out. So I started watching Floss Tube and loved it. Just loved all of it, all your cute projects and everything. But I really quickly realized how wholesome most of you are. Not a word I would use to describe myself. Lots of words can describe me. Wholesome's not one of them. And I also realized a lot of people do these cute, like the cute little tiny patterns, and they do ornaments and all kinds of stuff. Y'all, I don't have a Halloween tree. I don't even know what a Halloween tree is. So I started really digging to find my people. Found a couple of you that I thoroughly enjoy watching. I love when you post videos. I feel like you're a little more like in line with the rest of the universe and my real life, and not this super wholesome, like, seriously, you should see what happens when I tell my friends I cross stitch. They're like, you do what? Like, I'm a very outgoing person. I spend my time, like, my husband, we go to football games, we go to hockey games, we go to the bar, we hang out with friends, and they're like, hey, what'd you do last night? I'm like, I cross stitched the Golden Girls. Like, it's a weird thing. I'm also not a great housewife. I've learned somehow this goes hand in hand, like housewives and cross stitching. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, you guys are really capable. Like, you decorate and stuff. Like, you can kind of see right here, this giant nutcracker. He's 5 feet tall. His name's Douglas. He lives here year round. Like, I'm not ahead of the game. I am not decorated for Christmas. Like, last year I had a moment in the middle of Michael's and a coupon and decided I needed him. So now he lives here all the time. Like, he was here in July. It's great. He's the only seasonal decoration in my entire universe, other than a Christmas tree, which might make it up like December 20th-ish. So yeah, so like I love watching all these floss tubes and seeing all these things, but like a lot of people are like seasonal decorators and their house looks really good. Like I mentioned, like this is my spin bike. It also lives here year round and you can't see it. And I don't think I need to show you, but like I'm sitting next to 2 baskets of laundry. Like I just don't live in this like well-coiffed universe. So as I'm stiaching and I'm watching floss tubes and I'm going through the books that I have and I'm like trying to like pick apart, like I don't quite need every pattern to have an F-bomb. Not a bad thing, but you know, I kind of fell in this weird middle ground. So that's where we are. I should also point out to give you a little perspective on me when I start, you know, every internet community has their own like abbreviations and acronyms. And the first time I saw FFO, I was like, yeah, finally effing over. Like that's what I thought it meant. I'm still not entirely certain I know what it means, but yeah, whatever. So I'll start with this one, and I'm in selfie video mode, so this is backwards. I think it looks backwards to me right now. I don't know if it's actually backwards because I don't do technology. I do numbers for a living, not technology. So the Feminist Cross Stitch book by Stephanie Rohr was the first book I bought that really like kind of got me back into this, that led me. Like I said, I think it was the targeted ads after I bought this that got me the stiach stuff that kind of relaunched this. I have cross stitched over the years. When I was a little girl, I was really artsy, real bad at it, but real artsy. And so I used to like take my $5 and go to Joann's in the 80s and like get a little kit with my mom, who is not a cross stitcher at all. And I had one, I will never forget it. It was a little teeny mouse. It had a little tail that was backstitched. And my dad actually helped me. I think my dad was excited because he wanted to teach me like how to read a pattern, like how to like follow directions. So there's that. But yeah, so I've done that over the years and back and forth. Every few years I'll find a pattern that I really like. Not gonna lie, she's Steph X Stitch on the magical internet. I have quite a few of her patterns over the years just because they kept coming up and they were easy to get. So I bought this book and then I started working on, I don't fucking care if you like it. Yep. And it has been in this state of almost finished for probably a year, maybe a hair less. Making it for a friend of mine. I changed all the colors. I'm real bad at following the recommended colors. So I changed them all. And now I'm not 100% certain I know what colors I still need. Organization, obviously, a strong suit. But nonetheless, I do like it. So, oh, it does do it. Okay. So there's that. God, I hope this is not backwards. Maybe it will be though. It's cool. You guys know what it says. So this kind of kicked it off before the stiach and before all of that. And I also bought the Subversive Cross Stitch book, which I like a lot. So there's one on the back you can see. It says, cheer up, loser. I like them because they're small. When I do small things, I like these ones and I give them to friends. And that's what I've done in the past. Like I made one that said nope, and I gave it to a coworker. Like I don't know what to do with them in my house. I don't have decorations anywhere. Other than Douglas. He's cool. So that's kind of how it all started, which landed me at Stiach, which I have just had the best damn time. It was such a fun project to kind of restart all of this for me. I will also go ahead and blame whoever, maybe Em and Matt, because they're in charge. I have just gone in whole hog. I mean, boxes of floss and like, this is what I do every night. And like during the football games, my husband's like, really? Is this necessary? Yeah, it sure is. This is what we do now. I enjoy it though. It really is a great break from my real life, from the stress of the kids and work. And it's really like just cathartic. So I've really enjoyed it. And Stiach has been great. I'm a big Golden Girls fan. Sorry, lots of ums and lots of coffee. So this, when I realized, I mean, I did not realize it was Golden Girls. The magical, wonderful people of the Facebook group were just like, that's Golden Girls. And I believed them. I was pretty sold really early on. And, excuse me. Yeah. So I jumped right in. Oh, fix it, fix it, fix it. Oh, that's okay. So sorry, Betty White. So sorry. She's the one that I'm just not thrilled with how she turned out. But despite her being a hair on the derpy side, it looks good. You know what it is. Like, my husband saw it, and I literally learned because of this that my husband is obsessed with the Golden Girls. We watch the Golden Girls a lot now. He also asked that I pick a finish for him. He wants me to, we're going to do Picture It, Sicily, 1922. That's what we decided on. And he's going to frame it and put it in his office. And I am not mad about it at all. I think it's hilarious. So yeah, Stitch really like kicked it off, and that's where it began. Resurged, maybe that's a better way to say it. So yeah, that's kind of what kicked this off and where we are. So good. We're doing Stitch in my gallon Ziploc bags. Sorry, cute YouTubers. Like, I don't have any of the fun, flashy things. One day, but I do live on a budget. I also convinced my husband this was a really affordable hobby. I was like, babe, it's cool. Like, there's always coupons. I just go to Joann's and I'll get, you know, floss on a deal, and patterns are like $4 PDFs, like totally cheap. Yeah. Not quite that cheap, but it's okay. I will say, I feel like it's a good point to mention. So I'm in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. Not from here, but this is where I am. We don't have an LNS of any variety whatsoever. I have Googled and searched. There are there's another YouTube channel. What are we called? Married with Stitches. I love them. And they're apparently also in this area. They also mentioned there's no LNS. And so I actually trust them more than I trust my Googling capabilities. There's nothing around here. I actually was on vacation a week or two ago, and I found a needlepoint store where we were on vacation at the beach in the South. And I was like, I'm gonna go there. They must have something. So like, I take my stepdaughter and we go in, and it is the most prim and proper assortment of Southern women. I am talking, it is the middle of a Friday afternoon. We are fully coiffed with scarves and big earrings. Like, we are in it to win it. And I'm like, okay, I can play this game. Like, I take my deep breath and like pull out my big girl panties, like, we're good. And so this one woman, super friendly, comes out, oh, how can we help you? And like, all in on it. Like, I am not exaggerating. And I told her, and I said, you know, I was hoping that you all carried some cross stitch patterns. And this woman from like behind a table across the store, sweetheart, cross stitch is a dead art. You should get into needlepoint. And I was like, oh, hell, not in the right place. So then I politely looked at needlepoint patterns, which I don't fully understand, for like 5 minutes to be polite. I've lived here long enough to know I have to play the game. And then we left. No offense to anyone that does it. I don't fully, it's like cross stitch, but bigger, and they're all stamped. I guess I don't know. I thought they were similar. I thought maybe that was a fancy Southern way to say, nope. So yeah, I am at the mercy of the internet, Joann's, Michael's, and AC Moore. We do have a Hobby Lobby. I don't go there. I have a moral compass. Off. No. So yeah, I really, really, really love a good PDF pattern. That is where I get 90% of what I do, obviously barring those 2 books. But yeah, I'll get there in a second. So back to my story. God, I can sidetrack like a boss. This is why I wanted to do this. Like I said, I used to have a YouTube channel, and I stopped, personal life related reasons. And it's been a couple years, but I'm not naive. Like, I can talk to a brick wall for a long time. So I thought this would be a lot of fun. So what else am I working on? So during Stitch, I mentioned to you guys, I was in the Facebook group, and I found this pattern. Somebody posted it. Someone posted it, like they did it as a gift for their, somebody. Let's see if I can, poor planning. So it is this It says the anatomy of a pew pew. And at the top it says bang button, magic fire dust, metal holdy thing, and freedom seed. This is not my realm at all, but my brother is a former police officer. He has also been razzing the hell out of me for cross stitching, telling me what an old lady I am. So I wanted to do something for him, obviously. And I saw this and I was like, that's freaking perfect. So I bought the worst, cheapest black Aida I've ever seen in my life on Amazon Prime. Again, I don't have anything local and I'm cheap. So it's working. This is where we are so far. But like this stuff, I don't know how to describe it. Like it's so stiff. There's no movement. I'm terrified to wash it because I think it might fall apart. So it's working. It's also the only whip that I have that's not like, I don't have to use a frame. Like it just stands by itself. Like, look, I'm wiggling it. It doesn't go anywhere. It's the worst Aida to work with on the planet, but he won't care. So I'm going to finish this and frame it and give this to my brother for either his birthday or Christmas, which is both December. So depending on when I finish, that's what I'm going to give him. Hope he likes it. He'll get a good kick out of it. We joke around. We're only a year apart, so we have a good relationship, and I like to screw around with him. It's fun. Like, just give him hell. So, what is next? What did I find next? I'm not sure. Oh, let me tell you this story. More stories from me. So, shortly after I start getting into the cross stitching and doing everything again, my husband was like, make me one. Again, so this is before we knew what the Stiach was, before we knew it was Golden Girls. And he was like, yeah, do one for me. Do me a Lions one. So he is a lifelong Detroit Lions fan. When I married him, I became a Detroit Lions fan. It's a place. Honestly, I've had nothing but a great time. We've been to games. We're going to a game in a couple weeks. It's so much fun. They don't win Super Bowls. Not yet. It's on their list. It's on the to-do list. But nonetheless, I do enjoy it. I have become diehard. Like, I now have like 38 Lions shirts. I told him, I was like, it helps that I look good in blue. Like, if you were a Bengals fan, we'd be screwed. So, yeah, there's that. But he said, find me a Detroit Lions pattern. So I went online and I found one that was just the lion logo. And I didn't love it. Like, it's just plain. And I have a penchant for doing like big and complicated. I feel like it keeps me distracted. Like, I don't want something I can finish in a week. I want it to take time. I want to like motivate myself to want to continue. Like, it's a thing. So I landed on eBay for some reason, and I'm willing to bet it's a copyright situation. I'm also fairly confident no one from the NFL is going to watch this video, so we might be safe. There are no good NFL patterns. I get it. I used to be a photographer. I fully understand copyrights. I know, licensing and the cost and what have you. It is what it is. So there aren't a ton of patterns, and I couldn't find one that I loved. So I found this one on eBay. I'm going to do this. Oof, can you see it? So that's what it looks like. And that's literally the picture that was on eBay. There is no final product to reference. This particular seller had multiple NFL patterns. I don't know if she had every team. She had the Lions. Most places that have selective patterns, selective teams don't usually include the Lions. They're not often chosen. But she did. So she might have all 32 teams, whatever. And it's called the Detroit Lions mascot running back counted cross stitch pattern. And I was like, perfect. And it looks really cool. Like, I thought, that's awesome. Like, that's Rory. He's the mascot. We're going to do this. This thing showed up. It is, I don't know, 10 full pages. I know I can't show patterns. I know the rules. But to, like, give you a little sneak of kind of an idea, like 10 pages of that. I was like, oh, shit. This is a thing. This is going to happen. All right. So I took my kids to Joann's, yell out the numbers. That's how I get Floss. I only DMC at this point, mainly because it's my only local option and I like touching things. So right now I am exclusively stitching with DMC. And so I go to Joann's and I yell out numbers and then my kids race to find them. It's like 80% successful. A lot of times I come home, you know that they're like always at Joann's. It's always like a total disaster. And my kids are not good at double checking their numbers against the little bar. So a lot of times they reach in the correct bucket, but unfortunately for them, they're not getting the correct floss. So it's like 80% successful. It's fine, whatever. So we get all the floss, most of the floss, and we get home and I start stitching it. This thing is a nightmare. Not gonna lie, I am 100% confident this has never been stitched before. I believe that someone took a cool pattern and ran it through a pattern making program. For the benefit of the person who made this pattern, I'm going to say her name. I don't know, might be a him. I found this person's Facebook page and they do a lot of like photorealistic, like they take actual pictures and run them through pattern makers. And the final product is like spot on if that's your jam. Excuse me, but it's not at all what I expected. It's confettied as hell. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing. I have probably put 30 hours into this thing. And like I got the pattern and showed my husband. He was like, yeah, I'll finish this before the end of the season. Nope. I am very much still on page 1. This is like 30 hours. Let me see how close I can get it. So you can see like every one of these little blues is different. Like, and there's no rhyme or reason. Like these edges should be tan for the outline and they're not. And this is the beginning of a lion head. That's his shoulder. It's the most obscenely confettied thing I've ever seen in my life. Maybe I will finish this somewhere in the next decade. It's very time consuming. Mind you, my husband saw it. He's like, babe, it looks amazing. Keep going. And I'm like, great. I'm going to spend all of my stitching time making confetti. So that's that. I have it. It's just going to be like a forever whip, I think, at this point. Like, I do want to finish it one day, but I definitely bit off more than I could chew. Somehow I'm not surprised. I tend to be a little ambitious sometimes. So from that adventure and learning about confetti and Julie, I believe, Kansas City girl in a Colorado world, she made a reference once on one of her videos and said, you don't want to end up doing an accidental haid. I was like, what's a haid? And I Googled it and I was like, yup, that's what I did. Like, that's what that is. So, 100%. Maybe when the final pattern is done, if you want to know who did it, let me know. I don't want to say anything because I have nothing nice to say about that pattern. I have nothing nice to say. It has clearly never been stitched before. It is absolutely insane. It's extra. As I posted on Instagram, it's extra AF. Like, I just can't with that thing. So, whatever. But from that, I started looking at more confetti patterns. So I don't hate confetti. I think if done well, it can be really cool. So here I go to Etsy with my search bar and I'm looking for patterns and I start looking at confetti patterns. And then I fell into this world of watercolor patterns. And I was like, ooh, that's pretty. I want to do that. So I'm searching and there's a lot of Harry Potter ones and we haven't got there yet, but I already have multiple Harry Potter patterns. So I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then I found a Wizard of Oz pattern. Let me tell you, when I was a little girl, I watched The Wizard of Oz on VHS so many times, I broke the tape. Like the straight up VHS tape, broke it. Because please be kind, rewind, and tapes were not very durable. Obsessed. I have been obsessed my whole life. It is my favorite movie. My kids think I'm nuts. They don't love it. My husband's like fairly indifferent towards it. Don't care. Don't care. I absolutely love it. So I found this pattern from Hard Knot Life on Etsy. It's gorgeous. And of course, I can't find the front page of the pattern with the final product. I will link this one. The pattern maker has been super sweet. So I found the pattern and then I posted in one of the many cross stitch Facebook groups I'm in that I was starting it. And not only was I starting it, it's my first watercolor pattern and my first intentional confetti pattern. This is also the first time I've stitched on even weave. So this is a thing I didn't know existed until I got into Floss Tube. Again, I live in a world with no LNS. I don't have like family members or aunts or my mom or grandma who ever did this. Like, I was just a crafty little girl that liked to do things. You know, I spent years knitting and all these things. So I don't have like a reference. I don't have someone who like shows me stuff. Yeah, y'all, I got the internet and it's great. So even weave has been, it kept coming up. So I bought some and I touched it, and I will say, I was like, ooh, that's nice. And then I kind of looked at it and was like, shit, that's not going to be easy to stitch on. Oh well. If you're going to do it, go for it. So I posted in one of the giant, like 30,000 people Facebook groups. I was like, go big or go home. My first even weave, my first watercolor. I'm doing it. And I posted it. And the pattern maker was in there. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because the internet. And she was like, oh my God, can we share it? And yes. So I like now tag her on the thing. And she's been reposting my progress. And so this is all the rambling later. This is where we are so far. There it is. That is the Scarecrow. So it's the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, Dorothy, and the brain fart, Cowardly Lion. Yeah, and it's like he's almost done to give you perspective, and it is just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, you know, I look at all these and like, how am I going to finish them? And this might be the one that I like pay the money for like actual framing, and I want to hang it in my office because my love of the Wizard of Oz will never, ever, ever die. So I do this. This one is for me. So much, you know, I mentioned I'm not a good decorator. I'm not good at seasonally decorating. I'm not good at any of the things. So a lot of these, I start them and I stitch them with the intention of giving them as gifts. This is not a gift. This is my gift to me. Love me. Can't wait. So excited. So, yeah, working on that. Excited and back in my Ziploc bag. You guys, I'm killing it at the grocery store. Every time I go, I'm putting gallon Ziploc bags on the list. And my husband's just like, why? I'm like, well, that's where I keep everything. And he was like, all right, whatever works. He stopped questioning me, so that's good. So this is my last, yeah, I think this is my last whip. This is the Cunning Stitch Along with my Real Housewives of Cross Stitch tutorial dyed fabric. It's 18 count. Kind of turned out a bit of a hot mess, more of a hot mess than I expected. But at the same time, I don't hate it. I think if you've been in there, if not, join it. The Cunning Stitch Along, what are we calling it? Letters from Hogwarts. This is just the outline. I really like the idea of it. My oldest son is Harry Potter freaking obsessed. To be clear, when he became obsessed, I just handed him all of my books because I already had them. I also am a big, big Harry Potter fan. So this one, I'm super stoked. I do plan to frame this and put it in his room, I think. Because it's a stitch along, I don't know what it's going to be, and it's a big frame. I think there's 6 parchments essentially that come in, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna try and like do them in a way that suit him. I'm not quite as into it as some people. There have been some people, so like we're supposed to roll the dice to decide which wand to put there. And some people were like, I'm using my wand for Pottermore. I'm gonna chart it. And I was like, holy crap. Okay, I like Harry Potter, but I'm not that into it. So I just picked the one I liked the best. I also got in a fight with this section. It has been done. It has been frogged, restitched. Still not totally right, but this time at least it's close enough that I'm leaving it. I don't have the patience for that. Funny side note, my son, my oldest, came down when I was frogging it, and he's like, Mom, what are you doing? And I was like, frogging this because I messed it up. And he's like, why is it called frogging? And I go, because you rip it. He rolled his eyes so hard, he must have seen the back of his head. And he was like, oh my God, you have mom puns? And I was like, listen, little boy, I sure do. Full of them. So yeah, story about frogging. You too have preteens. Say it to them. Oh, I love tormenting my middle schooler. He's the sweetest kid. Such a sweet, good kid. So easy to torment. And I'm not mean. I don't like beat him or anything. But like, what is the fun of tolerating middle school if you can't reg your kids a little bit? Huh? There's that. Nope, not on the PTA. Not that good. So, but back to this. So I really enjoy this one as well. It was in whip timeout after I did the frogging. I was so mad at it. I put it away, but I have picked it back up and I'm working on it. So we're getting there. That's all my whips. So here is my one lonely finish. Like I said, I don't know what the words are. I don't know if like, I know FFO does not mean finally effing over. Although I might make it mean that because I can. I don't know if that is the thing for like finished pretty or not, or just finished stitching, whatever. Call it what you want. I have this beauty right here. It says, Bloody Mary full of vodka, blessed are you among cocktails. Pray for me now and at the hour of my death. Amen. The actual pattern, this is another Steph X Stitch pattern. She did a four pattern deal, 4 for $18, I think, on Etsy. Sure did do that. And I got this one. The actual pattern says, pray for me now and at the hour of my death, which I hope is soon. I think that's how it ends. I decided to do this for my mom. She is turning 60 in a couple weeks. Don't tell her I told you. She's turning 28. So yeah, she's turning 60 and my mom and I, we have a good sense of humor. So I decided to do this for her and I started stitching it and then I was looking at it and I was like, okay, she's got a sense of humor, but she also has limits. And if I gave her this and it said at the hour of my death, which I hope is soon, she would be like, you trying to knock me off? You want your inheritance from my will? She's crazy. I love her, but she's crazy. So I did change it. I went onto Google. I found the most extra font I could possibly find for the word amen. And my plan, so I like a lot of crafty things, but one area where I am not crafty is this like finishing business you guys do. You guys, all of Floss Tube. It's not my jam. I'm not that crafty. I'm not that thoughtful. Sorry, that's the truth. So I want to get a frame. I want it to be red. I'm happy to spray paint. I can spray paint things. That's in my wheelhouse. I wanted to find like an extra, my thought was to find a black Halloween frame, like a kind of a, creepy's not the right word, just extra, like real detailed, like whatever. And I know that they have them at Halloween and my thought was to get a black one and I would just spray paint it red. I went to, where'd I go? Michael's a couple weeks ago. Halloween was over long before it started. Today's November 1st, 2nd. I'm good at days. Today's November 2nd. So Halloween is now legitimately over, but like I went like a month in advance and they were like, Merry Christmas. And I was like, oh. Okay, so I did not find what I wanted. I'm still on the hunt. I don't have long left because her birthday's rolling up. So it's actually on my list of things to do today. I have a whole day to myself, like a whole more than 24 hours of silence, of no children and no husband. And I do love all of them immensely. And I am not sad they're not here. So yeah, that was the other reason. In case you wanted to know again, why are you floss tubing? because no one's in my house. Are you ever gonna see another one from me? Maybe. I mean, if like 4 of you watch it, I'm not sure. If enough of you watch it, I will do another one. I don't move very fast. I am not gonna be as fun as some of you, but that's okay. So, but yeah, after this, like, I'm going shopping. I actually have to get everybody shirts. I buy us matching PJs every year. I'm not super coordinated. I don't do a lot of like crafty, fun things. I don't plan well. But matching Christmas PJs, I can handle. Thank you, Target, and your $5 pants. But I bought the pants, and now I need to find the shirts. And my husband and my stepdaughter are gingers. And I have been told repeatedly this means no red. So I don't, last year I bought them red t-shirts, and I failed. Everybody was so hateful that I put them in red, and I was like, okay, fine. So, going to find t-shirts. And then I'm going to Joann's because I'm alone and without children, and I want to buy things. Good times. And find a frame. Find a frame. It's on my list of things to do. So let's see. Patterns. I am currently doing the thing. I mentioned before with actually this one. This was another Steph X stitch. By the way, I say Steph X stitch. I know that X stitch is cross stitch. I don't know if it's supposed to be read like Stephanie cross. I make things up. We're just gonna do it this way. I'm gonna call you Steph X Stitch from now until the end of time. Yeah, so she did a 4, I think it was 4 for $18. Oh, it's on Etsy. So I got that one. I got Mortgage, Sweet Mortgage. I think I'm gonna do that and possibly hang it in the bathroom. I Drink and I Know Things. Debatable what is gonna happen with this one when I do it. Husband and I did the Game of Thrones, all of it. That's his favorite quote. He also has it on a t-shirt. So I am tempted to give it to him. Also a bathroom option. You know, I've got one somewhere. No, I don't. It's not in the book. It's on Etsy. It says, please don't do Coke in my bathroom. I love it, and I think it would be hilarious. But I have kids that can read, and that's not a discussion I'm prepared to have, so not doing it. And then this one, it says extra. It's got a peacock, and the colors are like gold and teal and purple. It's very like New Orleans-esque. It's cool. Yeah, so giving you some insight. As you see, these are all black and white printouts. I like my patterns black and white printout. Generally speaking, that's how I function. Again, I don't have an LNS. Also, it's 2019. I'm not paying shipping for something that should be a PDF. This is a personal vendetta I have against all of these darling pattern makers and all of their wonderful work. I'll pay you. I really will. For a PDF. Crying out loud. I'm not paying shipping. I'm not doing it. It's like people who want me to fax things at work. I'm like, really? How about an email? I can't. I have a thing. I can't do it. So I like a good black and white PDF. Also because I write all over my patterns. I make notes to myself. So I do things. I also, like I mentioned, I have a penchant for not always having all the floss I need because my kids are not properly thorough when I yell numbers and they get floss. So I do a lot of changing. Sometimes, like the very first pattern I showed you, sometimes I just change it because I want to change it. Other times, I change like, I'm one color, I'm off. So I'll go online and find like what's the closest thing and see if I have it. Like I will try and like switch out for something that's already in the floss collection. I write that on there. If something sucks, I'll make a note like so I remember. I write all over them. I will also say it's kind of a issue I have with having to get, if I buy the nice patterns that are in the stores, I feel bad writing on them, but that's how I do stuff. And the big ones I highlight as I go. Let me, again, quick, just so you can see, that's the Wizard of Oz pattern. Like I highlight as I go. I don't want to highlight on your nice patterns. So designers, you want to sell a pattern for $12? I'll $12 you for the PDF. Please, 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 please. on that note, I do have the Stitchy Instagram, Nick Stitches. And I follow a bunch of people, and I just started that one a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoy it. And came across a pattern that I know is going to be one of these like Floss Tube heavy. You guys are adorable, and you all do these super cute seasonal things. And I see your home tours that are just like these perfectly well decorated homes, and I'm like, holy crap. But you have all these cute patterns, and I know that there are very popular designers who do a lot of the patterns. Good on you. I hope you're making a killing. But 9 times out of 10, they're not PDFs. These are physical patterns that, like I said, I'm not paying shipping. I don't have an LNS. Like maybe one day I'll go on vacation. And pretty much now every time I go on vacation, I Google, is there a store where I can go spend extra dollars? Haven't been successful yet. I also have not been on a good vacation in a while because that's life. God, I can tell long stories. So winding that one back in, the other night, I was literally laying in bed. My husband is brushing his teeth, and I'm like scrolling Instagram, and I saw a Christmas pattern from Tiny Modernist, and they were selling the PDF. I was so excited. So I bought it immediately, laying in bed while he's brushing his teeth. I'm like, what's my PayPal password? Like, yep, totally went for it. It's that one. Again, this is the black and white printout because you guys sold the PDF. Really excited about this one. This is actually the one I'm gonna go today when I go shopping and get all the stuff for. I have a goal to finish it by December 1st. And then my stepdaughter was like, why don't you finish it before Thanksgiving? And I was like, great. And to be clear, Thanksgiving is so late this year that those are just within a couple days of each other. But yeah, this is, for someone who's not good at decorating, I feel like Douglas would like a little bit of seasonal decor. So maybe I'll get this done. But either way, I was really excited to see it. I posted on Instagram how excited I was that they had the PDF option. You know, I love watching your floss tubes. I watch like the Fat Quarter Shop floss tubes, and they're so adorable and so sweet. But everything is always real patterns. So she actually mentioned this pattern, I think on Wednesday, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. Actually gonna do something seasonal. So there's that. What else? Two more. I'm just about done. Because look, I talked for 42 minutes. Somehow I'm not surprised. The Harry Potter book covers by Fox and Teacup Designs. This is another one. I don't know if I found it on Instagram or in a Facebook group, but either way, I came across it and was like, I need it. This is another full coverage, big deal. As I posted on Facebook, so they have 3 options. They have a mini, a standard, and like a you must be a fracking masochist. I didn't get the big one. I've seen it. There's one girl, they have a Facebook group just for this pattern that I'm in. And there was one that I've seen recently who finished it. It's insane. It's like 2 feet tall. And this girl spent what must have been like the last 5 years working on it. I mean, it was nuts. Looked amazing, but I was like, I can't. And this one is 9 pages. And it doesn't, I didn't write it down. It's manageable. Oh wait, I bet I can tell you here. 151 by 251. Yeah. Not horrible. Won't be quick. I know that, but I love Harry Potter, and my oldest is a Harry Potter junkie, and I figure the 2 little ones are just now creeping into being able to read Harry Potter. So I've got like a good 4 years of Harry Potter fandom existing in my home. So yeah. And then my last pattern, so there is a woman, and I'm sorry I don't remember your name, and it's in my phone, and I'm talking to my phone. I followed her on Instagram, and she sent me a message and said, like, for all her Instagram followers, she gives a free pattern. I do believe she's a designer overseas. I think she might be Russian, Eastern European. I think, and I'm so sorry if you're not. I'm trying to remember. I might be confusing my people. Nonetheless, her Etsy is Silk Stitches Pattern Design. And she literally was like, go to my store and pick one that you like and I'll send it to you. And she did. And I was like, okay. So this one I have to get real close. The picture on it is close. It's that unicorn right there. Can you see it? There it goes. This picture makes it appear a little bit bigger than it actually is. What is this? 110 by 147. It is stitched on black Aida. P.S. Shoot me a link down below. Not certain where to get it. The crap I bought on Amazon is not going to hack it. And I asked my stepdaughter, because I'm doing this one for her room, because she's 8 and unicorns are the jam. And to be fair, I will take unicorns over Visco girls any day of the week right now. I'm going to make her, I want her to stay little for as long as possible. So yeah, I need black Aida. I already have the floss for it, but I'm really excited about this one. Super nice, pretty pattern, color coordinated. Not a ton of colors, not confetti heavy. So this one I think will go fairly quick. I do want to say, so this one, the Harry Potter one, and the reason I did it was the most recent Stitch for all the back stitching, are printed in color. I don't have a color printer, but Stitch recommended that you print in color for that back stitch one, just because of the way they did the pattern. I was like, oh, okay, I got a couple that I wouldn't mind having in color after all my ranting about black and white PDFs. So I tossed them on a flash drive and I went to Staples. Color printing is a racket. I used to have a color printer and it had 7 cartridges. It had like cyan, light cyan and dark cyan and blah, blah, blah. And then black. It had the 3 light and dark and black. So expensive. And it was one of those things that like, your light cyan is low. None of it will work anymore. Like the whole thing. And it was so expensive. So I got rid of that printer and now I actually bought a laser printer for my house. So I have that and it was great. But she was like, get the print in color. So I was like, okay, I'll print it in color. So I went, it's like 51 cents a page to print in color. How is it 2019 and there is just no affordable color printing options in the universe? Like none. It's expensive to do it at home. It's expensive to do it at Staples. Like what an effing racket. Not happy. To be fair, I don't do it very often unless a pattern specifically calls for color printing. I don't do it. So I did it for Stitch. I wanted the cover of the Fox and Teacups pattern in color so I could show my kid what I was working on. And then this one I actually did print in black and white at home. But again, without showing you all the things, like that's what the pattern looks like. The actual pattern is color coded and I liked that. And I was like, so I'm gonna go ahead and print this one too. I spent like $50 printing in color. I was super pissed. Like I could have bought a color printer for $50. Somebody add that to the list of world problems. I need color printing to be cheaper. So yeah, that's all my stuff. The only other thing I have here, this is the little kit my 8-year-old son created. I let him pick his own colors. We found a Minecraft. It's not even a Minecraft pattern. Minecraft is just already pixelated, so it works super well. Thanks to the internet reminding me that. Like I went looking. I was like, does anyone have a Minecraft pattern? And everybody was like, it's pixelated. Go to town. I was like, oh, sure is, isn't it? So this is his. He likes to sit with me on the couch and cross stitch. He's adorable. It's taken him like forever. But look how far he is. Nope, stop doing the thing, light. There it goes. Nope, well, it's gonna be mad. You see that cute little corner? That's like legit an hour's worth of time. And it's sweet. And sometimes at bedtime, he knows like that's when I pull out cross stitch, is when I toss all the children in bed. And he's like, Mom, can you cross stitch during the day tomorrow so I can cross stitch with you? And I'm like, yes. And then I don't because life happens and he's not here this weekend. He will get back to it, I promise. My stepdaughter also has her own little whips. She's adorable. She's got a little heart pattern. It's over there somewhere. I didn't think to grab it. She also thinks cross stitch is cool, and I am in it to win it, to slowly convert all of the children to cross stitching. No. So, but she enjoys it, and honestly, like, it's 2019, and these kids are so addicted to technology and so like on the computer, which I limit. I'm not nice. I have a low jack on our Wi-Fi, so the kids get 1 hour a day, which even that is probably excessive, but it includes like homework and crap. Read a book, go outside, do something crafty. So the fact that I got 2 out of 3 to do cross stitch, and I didn't bug either of them. Both of them like walked into it on their own accord and were like, what are you doing? It's cool. So converting the children, that's my plan. Yeah. So I made it almost a whole fracking hour of rambling. So there you have it. It's been fun. I don't know, talk to me, tell me stuff, leave comments down there. I don't know what's going to happen with this, to be fair. Like I said very early on, I work full time. I got a lot of kids. I got a husband. I got a house. This is just like my decompression universe. So if you like it, if people want to see more, I am more than happy to do this again. I don't know that it will be often. I will say that in all of the reasons I did leave YouTube previously, in my very not cross-stitchy channel, a big part of it was time. It was it was kind of an arena of YouTube that really mandated consistent content, like 3 videos a week. And I was just like, I can't. I literally made it like 5. And then life happened and don't go looking for it, pulled it down. I had to take it down completely again. Long story for another day. So that's it. Again, my name's Nicole. I think I said that at the beginning. There is a real good chance I might not have though. I don't have my life together. It's a Saturday morning. I'm gonna go drink more coffee. So have a wonderful day, Floss Tube. Thank you for watching. God knows I can't imagine any of you made it this far, but if you did, you're awesome. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and maybe we'll talk again.